All right. So what's up, man? As he answers me, I'll let you know what's going on. So we have 2 units right now available. One's in Tucson, one's in Phoenix here.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of the time I have somebody that takes care of all this, but sometimes it goes up on my Facebook too, because we spread them out through all the Facebooks in the office.
Yep.
And so somewhere along the way, I don't know where this guy came from, or I must have talked to him. Who the hell knows? We'll find out.
That's good. No, I saw the Tucson one actually on Facebook. I have you on Facebook, so I saw the
Okay.
Tucson one. It comes up like all your stuff comes up, and I was like, "Hey, there he goes with his lease option again."
There you go. There you go. Yep.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, I had reached out to you as you know, I had sent you the DM and on Facebook about IRAs. So I realized recently, because I didn't know, that I have a traditional IRA that I can't do shit with. In other words, just have them invest and grow. But obviously, my initial thought when I got that IRA, like back in 2020, was to eventually start, doing some sort of transactions in it and stuff like that. So I realized I don't have that. When I went to the bank and I was like, hey, listen, I need you to, lend this money to this investor for this and that. They're like, what? I have it with Chase. They're like, what are you talking? No, we don't. That's a distribution. You're gonna get taxed on that. I was like, excuse me? I don't think it works that way. Let me do some research.
Yeah.
And I did some research, and I've been in the last couple of days. But since you were talking about it on Facebook, I was like, you know what? Let me reach out to John and kind of confirm with what I think I already know and kind of go from there. So this is what I got so far. So you don't have to talk much. I know there's obviously a Roth IRA and a self-directed IRA that's separate from a traditional IRA. The self-directed IRA is where you can do buy properties in the IRA. You can lend out of the IRA as long as there's a promissory note and a mortgage that is sent to the custodian of the IRA. And I can transfer or roll over, I forgot the name, from my traditional to a self-directed or a Roth. And that's the question I want to ask. What's the difference? Just that I have to get taxed on that money as if it was income, or something like that. So from that point, that's what I got so far. So you spit. Go ahead.
Well, so you want to go into a self-directed IRA. Now, be careful with the self-directed IRA. You cannot do arm length transactions, meaning you can't invest in your own properties.
I got
you
that.
You can be a private money investor and invest in somebody else's.
No linear investment, not wife, not kids, not mom, not dad, stuff like that. That's
sisters, that kind of stuff.
Unqualified something.
Yep. So you got to be real careful with that. So, like here in the office, I invest in my teammates. If they're investing in a property, I'll be their private money investor and I'll take it out of my self-directed IRA and I'll be their private money investor. Okay.
Perfect.
And that's perfectly fine. So when I did all this, I rolled my 401ks over into a self-directed IRA. I use equity trust. I used to use Vanguard. I don't like them. Equity trust is super easy to deal with. I have met the owner of the company. I was in Dallas at a convention with Eddie Speed, which is the note king, and Equity Trust was there. And this before I already had my account, but I got to meet the owner and he spoke and so forth. So it was pretty cool because he's got different philosophies than a lot of people, and he deals truly in the real estate realm, which I like. The transaction was super smooth when I had to do it, or every time I've done it. I can usually get money to my client within 2 to 3 days. So it's really fast as long as they have their LLC set up and the purchase contract and all that kind of stuff. So it's a fast transaction. And then
that's to the title company or closing attorney, obviously.
Yep. Exactly. It depends. Sometimes I'll send it right to, like in my office, I'll send it directly to my people. Okay. Gotcha. Because they may want a little extra as a cushion when they take over a deal. They may close on it for $5,000, but they make 10 total. So they have 10 in the savings account just in case. That's fine. I always take more money from my private money investors than I need because I'm not paying it. The tenant is. So I don't care.
Of course.
So as long as it cash flows, what I'm looking for. But sometimes you'll go straight to the title if you don't really know the person. If you know the person, then it's not a big deal because they're signing all the documents for you anyway.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah, and that's what I thought, that it would work something like that. I actually was looking into equity trust because YouTube rabbit hole, and they have a lot of videos on that, how easy it is to do real estate transactions and stuff like that. So I was looking into New York Life because that's who I have my life insurance with, but I don't want to say they don't cater to real estate, but that's not their thing. But the fact that you confirm now Equity Trust is the best one, I think, that'll be a good one to go to. But are you solely using it for real estate? Gotcha. So you don't do any other sort of investing out of there to grow it?
No, because when I reinvest my money out of there, I'm getting 12% interest, which I'm perfectly happy with, and I can't get that return anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it's secured with a promissory note and a deed of trust.
Gotcha.
And because I'm giving it to my guys here in the office, I'm the one underwriting the deal. So I know it's a good deal because it's probably one that I just turned down just because I'm trying to get portfolio built up for all these guys. So I know it's a good deal and I don't have a problem doing it. I know what my return's going to be. I use a servicing company. So I make my people actually pay the servicing company. The servicing company pays equity for me. So I never touch anything. It never comes into any of my accounts. And you want to keep that away from you. That's the way I do it. And I make that my lender, or I make my maker turn around and pay all the servicing fees too.
I'm sorry. Repeat that last part again.
So when let's say I loan you money. Okay. And out of my self-directed IRA, I'm going to have you set up a servicing company. And usually also, if it's my money, I'm going to insist you use Magnus Servicing. Okay.
That's your servicing company that you have now currently.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. They have everything we own right now. So it's real easy to keep it in one spot.
Okay.
So I can go in and I can look to see that, okay, I loaned you the money. You make payments straight to Magnus Servicing. Magnus Servicing makes that payment to equity. I never touch those funds because if you touch those funds, now you just violated IRS rules. Okay. Hang on just a second.
Magnus. Okay.
Yep.
Servicing. Okay.
Sorry, at this time, we do only have one property in Tucson, period. If you'd like to go take a look at it, text me on your way over there. I'll get you the code. And then please call me when you leave the premise so I know the key and house are all locked up, period.
Sounds like me talking to my buyers when they're going to go see a property that's vacant that I'm wholesale.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, that definitely helps. Any other intricacies, I'll just ask Equity Trust. The fact that you use them and you say they're easy, and their fees, how are their fees? Because I heard that you got to really look at
$250 a year.
$250 a year.
A year.
And you can make transactions unlimitedly.
Well, there's so many transactions, but you don't do a lot.
Okay.
Because you only have so much money in it, so you might farm it out once or twice a year. And they don't count all the payments coming back in. So yeah, 250 is what it cost me a year. I have one and my wife has one.
Oh man.
I'll pay that all day long.
Okay. And your wife rolled it over from a 401k as well? Because my wife has a 401k, but she's still in the company. So I know some companies don't allow you to roll it over if you're in the company still.
Not if she's still contributing, or if does the company contribute to profit share with her?
I don't know. I gotta ask
so if they don't share with her at all, then at that point, yeah, she can do anything she wants to with it as long as she's vested into that 401k. Because there's vesting periods of how much you get because they want you to stay with the company.
Okay.
But at some point in time, if she's 100% vested, she should be able to say, hey, I'm going to take my 401k and do something else with it and stop contributing to it. She'd have to shut it off, stop contributing to it. But if the company contributes, you might want to take a second thought at that and see if they're doing any type of match with her.
Gotcha. 50% or 100 or whatever it may be.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. All right. So that's good there. All right. Well, that's it for the 401k. I'll get with Equity Trust about anything else.
Cool.
I really want to get into the owner finance space.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to pitch it. I know what it is. I know how it works, but I don't know how to pitch it, if that makes sense. What would you suggest of me? Now, my initial thought of going into everything is wholesale, right? Build up the capital, look for more deals when they come down the pipeline, and take down as many as I can when I have the money. Do you do any owner finance deals?
Buying or selling?
Buying.
Yes, we do a lot of them.
Okay. So how do you pitch it, structure it, say it, or, give me your spiel?
Do you have my scripts and course yet?
No, not yet.
Get it.
Okay.
It's all in. So the whole script. So my guys, so we run 2 separate campaigns.
Where do I go?
Go to John Jon.
Okay.
Burgher BURGHER.com.
Is that where I set up the meeting?
Yep, right where you set up the meeting. So if you go into masterclass right now, if you use the code FIRST, you spell out FIRST, then 20, just 20. We drop the course to $997.
Okay.
You can make payments on it if you want to, and you get a free month, 1 month of community free. So you're going to want to click both buttons so you get the free community for the month and the $997. And we dropped it from the $34.97 down to $997. So right now you can get a fucking steal on it.
Okay, first 20, right?
Yep, first 20 is the code. And just make
and
sure you join the community too.
And the community is like $97 after, right? Something like that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And what we're going to do is it's going to change. So you guys that are all getting in early, you'll be grandfathered in, but we're going to be changing it because creative finance is so, and what I do and teach you guys from getting the acquisitions, all the scripts, all of our documentation, including all the disclosures and power of attorney letters, all that kind of stuff. Then we go one step further and we go all the way to dispo, and you'll get the lease, you'll get the option. You'll learn how to use the scripts to actually sell it with a lease with an option, and not be a landlord. So you'll get all that, and we'll teach you how to do that, as well as the Inago that we use for all of our renters and so forth. Then we're going to teach the renters. So we use Inago, which is a software, and it's free to you guys. So with that, then we're going to teach you how to take that lease option, get them through the SAFE Act or Dodd-Frank, and become the seller finance and become the bank. So at the very end. So my course takes you from start to finish. In there, you also get 6 phone calls with me to help you through a deal. Okay. I'm not going to leave you hanging. I was working with Matt on a deal.
Can you give me 7?
Sure, why not? So I'm working with Matt, another guy from Misfits. His guy texted me yesterday, I think it was Sunday or not yesterday, Monday. I was actually at my cabin, and he's right in the middle of a deal, and he's asking me questions. I just picked up the telephone and called him, okay, which is unusual, but I'm doing it for the first guys, and because he needed an answer right then and there. And I answered it in about 3 minutes. I just got off the phone with him. That's why I was late. I was talking to Devin, his dispo guy, because they're working a deal in Corpus Christi. And he had formula questions that we had to go through. So I'm available to help you through the deals. We're not one of those gurus, just like Tony's not. We're not going to leave you hanging.
Gotcha.
So, and that's the whole idea behind it.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. My main thing is to get more. I understand high level, but get more of an understanding how to pitch it and the numbers behind it. Well, the numbers I'm pretty okay with behind it, but just more how to pitch it, because I have been pitching it, but I've had very little success with it. I had maybe 1 or 2 that were kind of on the borderline, but didn't, go over. So I definitely want to do it, because I just want to pick up as many properties, as I can, obviously, and keep them. I'm not planning on wholesaling any owner finance. I'm planning on kind of keeping them and going from there.
Right. So in our script, we have the first thing that our guys look at is, can we buy it and take it down in-house? Whether it be a sub 2, a seller finance, or a hybrid using both of the models, okay, that's the first thing they're supposed to look at. Can it cash flow? And that's why we use this creative sheet, okay? And it's in the course too, and along with the formulas at the bottom, okay? So it's quick and simple. We're working on a calculator. I personally like these because every one of my guys fills this sheet out and they take it to underwriting, which is Jason is my COO. He underwrites every freaking deal that comes through here. So he likes to see this sheet. If it's a deal that we take down in-house, I want to see the sheet. But we are working on a funky calculator to give away, that kind of stuff, but use the sheet.
I got you.
Because you're sitting there talking to them, you're filling it out as you go. But that's the first thing we look at is, can we take it down in-house? Well, our script is set up that way. And it's set up to talk about sub 2. It's set up to talk about seller finance. And if you can't do that, can you pivot? What are we going to pivot to? We're going to pivot to a novation. We call it a retail buyer program because it's a notch above novations.
And that's also in there.
That will teach you how to get to there, but it doesn't teach you the RBP program. If you want to know about it, I'll teach it to you. I don't care. It's a novation, but it's a glorified novation. Okay.
Gotcha.
But all of our contracts have the novation script or the section in there for novations. But then if you want the rest of the paperwork, I can get that to you. It's not part of the program because we really don't teach that. I can get you the rest of the paperwork that you need, the RBP paperwork. That's not a problem if you want to do those. But if you can't do an RBP, then we actually do another pivot to wholesale. So that's the way all my acquisitions, and like right now I've got 5 acquisition guys here. Every one of them uses the same script. Can I take it down? Nope. We're going to go to novation. Nope. We're going to take it to wholesale. Okay, sounds good. And that's the way they step through it. So the script actually does that for you.
So the last part of your process is wholesale, not the first.
Nope. And here's why. Wholesaling was a byproduct in my whole company to begin with. And I actually had a partner that knew wholesaling. I didn't know anything about wholesaling. I knew what it was, but I never did it because I'm a buy and hold person. Well, I have been for 31 years. I brought a partner in about 6-7 years ago, taught me how to wholesale. And he wanted to turn this into a wholesaling company. I said, no, dude, this is a buy and hold company. And here's why. If I go buy and hold this property, what's your average assignment fee on your wholesale stuff?
Well, recently it's gone up, but let's just say 10,000, 12,000.
Perfect. Our option fee average is $15,000. So I'm getting $15,000 up front anyway. And I'm getting monthly cash flow every fucking month.
That's good.
And one portfolio is $500 a door. The other portfolio I own is $900 a door. How many fucking doors do you have to have before you can retire and don't have to work anymore?
Yeah,
okay,
you're right.
But you're still getting that assignment fee up front through an option fee. Now, not everybody has an option to have $15,000, but we'll do what they call an option fee assistance program, where they give me $5,000 up front. Okay, so half of an assignment fee, but then they're going to make payments on the rest of it, the other $10,000 until it's paid in full. Usually $250, $500, or $1,000 a month additional on top of their lease payment. How many of those do you have to have?
Yeah, not many.
No. So
the only difference in wholesale is that you have to take the property down initially.
No, unless you do an assignment, but obviously, as we know, states are shutting that shit down. But
yeah, no, but you have to take. But if you don't do a wholesale, and you're doing the lease option, you have to buy the property first to be able to put a renter in there and do a lease option.
Yeah, but you're typically buying it. You're typically buying it creatively anyway, or try to, with very little money out of your pocket, or you have private money investors ready to go. I don't use any of my own money for my own deals.
Okay.
I only use private money. Now, if it's a sub 2, yeah, there's going to be, let's say you got to pay the seller $10,000 to walk away. And then you're going to have closing costs. Then I have commissions in-house that I have to pay. So if the seller wants 10 grand and I have to pay closing costs and I have to pay commissions, I'm going to add another 5 grand to that deal. So now I need $15,000 of private money. Gotcha. So I don't even pay my guys out of my own money. It's all out of loan to money. which is paid back by my tenants. So now it costs my company nothing to pay my guys. Okay. So I would rather look at it that way and take it down if I can and get that assignment fee or / option fee.
Yeah.
And get a monthly cash flow at the same time and own the property. So that's the way my guys look at every deal that comes in. Can we buy it first? Now, if I can't buy it creatively, can I buy it cash, bring in a private money investor, buy it cash, season it, and then DSCR loan it out? Right now, I'm doing 13 DSCR loans.
Holy shit. I thought I was doing something with 2.
Yeah. So yeah. So we push them that way. And I even on some of my sub 2 deals, I've got one in Brookville that we're doing right now that I brought in $91,000 of private money. The underlying sub 2 loan is at like 3%. But when you blend the interest rates and so forth, I'm better off doing a DSCR loan, getting my private money back out, paying off the underlying sub 2, putting it on a note on a 30-year fix. And right now I'm getting about 6.785 on interest rates for DSCR loans to 7 right there, depending on if it's rule or not. And my cash flow just went up, and I paid off my private money investor, and it's a better deal.
And your property's yours.
Property's mine, and I don't have to worry about doing sale clauses, that kind of stuff. At the same time, my private money investor got his $91,000 back, which he'll give right back to me to go buy another property with.
Thinking about maybe doing half and half for now. Still keep half in traditional, half in self-directed.
I wouldn't. Just because you can deploy it and make bigger money on it. I mean, once you get it over there, if you want to deploy it, I can stick it in some of my deals. And do it that way.
That could definitely work then for sure.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, you're going to get a higher return on your money. That's the biggest thing. I like to be in the deal and stay in the deal. I want that return constantly. I don't want my money in and out, because if it's out, I'm not making anything. Now I got to redeploy it. So that's what my private money investors love anyway, is because they're in the deal and they're into it a minimum of 5 years. And a lot of times longer than that, especially if I turn it into seller financing, I'm going to turn around and wrap the whole underlying note, including my private money investor. I'll take him from an interest only, and it says in my promissory note that I have the right to amortize it. And so then I'll convert that over to an amortized note instead of an interest only note and continue amortizing him out until the deal's done. And they're perfectly fine with that.
Of course.
And they still get the same interest.
Makes sense.
So it just makes more sense. You can make a lot faster money, in my opinion, than you can in the stock market.